If you're tired of hearing the same old basic mindset and motivational fluff talk, you've come to the right show. Welcome to Project Me with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, where we dish on everything from managing that crazy brain of yours to manifesting abundance to my straightforward, actionable steps that will make you major money online. Now, I'm not your typical multimillionaire entrepreneur. It takes a small village to keep my anxiety and depression in check. I'm inherently disorganized with an intense obsession with office supplies. Your girl here is a digital marketing content expert who's generated over $200 million in sales. I promise by tuning in twice a week, you will get a much needed refreshing dose of truth, clarity, and cash-making advice. Now let's get to it. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is a special birthday episode. Yes, today is my birthday, and in the U.S., it is a holiday called Labor Day because apparently this is a society here where all they do is work and hustle and force and push, and that gets rewarded. So we're apparently allowed to have one holiday that is dedicated to specifically not working. Yet that was the day I was born, which the irony is not lost on me, given that I used to live a majority of my life forcing, working, hustling, constantly doing, almost addicted to the busyness, because if I wasn't busy, then that meant that I was lazy, or that meant I wasn't going to be successful, or that meant I didn't do a good job that day. Or if I wasn't productive enough, I wasn't going to get the things that I wanted in life, and that I was a good for nothing. I know so many of you have inherited these beliefs and inherited them not just from your family of origin, but it also comes from society, the country you grew up in. There's so many different elements of where we pick up this stuff from mass media. There's a toxic addiction to being busy and to even being exhausted. It's like, I'm so exhausted. You know, I hear it a lot with moms. When I overhear them at the gym, it's like, oh, and I had to do this, and then I had to go to the school for this, and then my husband needed this, and I barely have time for myself. And it's this culture of, I have so many things to do, and I'm so busy, and I have more going on than you. And I think a lot of it is unintentional, but there is a high that comes out of it. And I was addicted to that high as like a productivity high, a busyness high. But that is not really living a beautiful, fun, fulfilling, peaceful, enjoyable life. That's living a life of constantly doing and not being. And when I shifted that, which is leading me to the number one thing of the 5 business and life lessons that have made me millions of dollars, is the more fun I've had in my life, the more money I ended up making in my business. The more rested I was, the more I nurtured myself, the more I care for my body, the more I end up making in my business, the more opportunities I attract, the more magnetic my energy is, the more creative ideas that I have, the more mental bandwidth I have to implement those ideas. I mean, when do you get your best ideas? Think about it. Most of you probably just said the shower, which I know 70% of you listen to the show in the shower, which I now listen to podcasts in the shower. It's a thing. I get it now. I really get it. So you get those ideas when you're in the shower, in the bathtub, on vacation, when you're buzzed on rosé with girlfriends. For me, it's anything with water. I'm walking along the ocean. I'm in the ocean. I'm floating in the pool. I'm sitting in a hot tub. Anything that relaxes our nervous systems. This is when we get the best ideas. Some of you get them at like 2 a.m. when you wake up because your body has been rested. You know, you can't go run errands. You know, no one can really bother you to do things. So you have this mental space, you have brain space to allow that creativity in. And this is where I don't know anyone who hasn't had a brilliant idea where it doesn't come out of that kind of space. It rarely comes out of a highly stressed, depleted space. So this is why it's number one. The more fun, rested, and relaxed I am, the more money I make. And I wanted to explain the nuances of why, and you have to trust that. But what we end up doing is, I can't rest. I didn't get this done. Or I can only rest or go do this or go do that or chill if I've done these three things, because I've got to get these three things done. And it's a slippery slope, because then you end up suffocating your own magic by doing that. Then you end up feeling burnt out. You get the brain fog. You always feel a couple steps behind. And listen, I still fall into it. And sometimes I catch myself early on. Sometimes I don't. We want to prevent it by building that in and be conscious of it. And it might be hard for you to believe. The more fun I have, the more money I make. But try it on. Experiment for a week and see how that works for you. So if you're not excited about whatever you're doing or offering, whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur, if you're not excited about your offer, your product, your program, clients, your prospective clients, your content, if it's not exciting you and lighting you up, it is not going to make you money. It's not, because that energy translates. So I need you to ask yourself the question, be willing to throw it all out the window. Even if your logo isn't exciting you, if your niche isn't exciting you, if what you talk about on TikTok or whatever isn't exciting you, if your emails don't excite you, I want you to give yourself permission today to throw it all out the window and do something fresh, do something new. It's okay, because this is never going to work. You're going to keep being like a hamster on a wheel and not getting anywhere, because you're trying to make something work that really doesn't light you up. And if it doesn't light you up, why the fuck would it light anyone else up enough to hand over their hard-earned money and time and energy to get it? Number 2, stop looking at what everyone else is doing and creating. And I have to remind myself of this often. I'm a lot better than I used to be. So if you are not sure what it is you want, you're lacking inspiration, you're trying to come up with a new offer, people aren't buying your stuff like you thought, I know what so many of you do, and I'm calling you out, but I'm doing it with love. We can see it on our end of people do it a lot with my account. And it's a form of copying. It's studying what someone else is doing that is clearly working and then trying to apply it for your business. We literally see people copy our sales pages almost word for word. They just change the pictures and the colors. I see people copying and mimicking things I talk about in Instagram stories. I have people literally lifting up my captions and just putting up a photo of themselves, but it's my caption. I see people studying everything I do. People will apply for my programs with no intention of genuinely wanting to be in my program, just to see what my system is, what my application process is, what the funnel is. And we're on to you. I'm just letting you know we see it. I don't always catch it, but we see it. And it makes me sad. It used to make me angry. It makes me sad. If you want to fucking know and you aren't sure how to make something successful, how to make it work, learning a proven way to get your clients and cash online, how to package your intellectual property and your experience and your story so you can make money off it, so you can impact people. If you want to know how to start and grow a successful podcast, whatever the hell it is, hire someone who's done it, who has the receipts, didn't just have one hot year at it, who has the receipts, who's done it, who you feel safe with. Hire them to show you, pay them. Don't try reverse engineering stuff. I did this a lot when I first started ProjectME, because I didn't want to make an ass out of myself in the online space, because that wasn't my industry. Granted, my other company, that's a digital marketing and branding firm that focuses in the pharmaceutical, medical, and health supplement space, That's more of B2B. That's more of a corporate, more conservative space where we use social media, but not how it's used when you're a podcaster, an author, you are an online coach or a service provider, or in that kind of sense. It is different. And being blunt, I never was the face of a brand. My other company is TLC Enterprises, right? It's not like Tiffany is the face. Yes, I'm the president, but it wasn't personal branding. ProjectME with Tiffany Carter it's me. It's a lot of me. You're seeing me. You're hearing me. You're reading about me. Me. And there was part of me that felt really uncomfortable about it because it reminded me of my mom. It seems like narcissistic. And then I had a major revelation that my mom is the OG of having a personal brand. I was blown away. I never realized my resistance. On her letterhead, because back in the day, they sent, instead of email newsletters, they sent actual physical mail newsletters. And my mom's newsletter was very well known and respected. And on her letterhead, on her paper, on all of her stationery was an illustrated, glamorous picture of her. And the name of the company, which I'm not going to say just because we don't need to go down that path. I don't need that drama. But the name of her company is her name. OG personal brand, and a lot of storytelling about herself and all this stuff. And it was like, oh my God. No wonder why I had so much resistance. So I was so afraid of looking like an ass or looking out of touch or looking, I don't know, stupid or whatever online. So I would start looking at other people who had online brands and go, oh, okay, so they take a photo with a laptop holding a cup of coffee. So I better make sure I do that in a photo shoot. Okay, so they offer something like this. Maybe I should offer something like this. Oh, they have a YouTube channel. Maybe I should have a YouTube channel. And that was not fun. It was sucking the life out of me because I wasn't just trusting myself and doing what felt good to me, what energized me, what lit me up. I was trying to emulate what was lighting up somebody else. And it started to feel like a job. And thank God that happened early on. It happened within the first 6 months. And I was like, fuck this. That's when I entered the 0 fucks given zone. And we're going to get to that because you're going to want to keep listening because number 5 is going to make you money immediately, even if you can adopt it by 10%. So stop looking at what people are doing. Stop copying, mimicking, reverse engineering. It may feel like you're saving money by doing this, just by Googling, just by doing these little courses here and there, this looking at people's stuff, studying stuff because you're not spending a lot. But the most expensive thing you can do is to continue to not get the results you desire in your business. Period. End of story. That's the most expensive thing you can do. And if it's not working for you and it doesn't feel good and it's not fun for you, then why would you keep doing it and try to make it work? Now we're back at the insanity of the hamster wheel. Number 3, reoccurring revenue and multiple income streams are required to scale your business into the big numbers because there's only one of you and your energy and time is capped. All of us have different types of energy. I am not one of those people who's like bursting with an abundance of energy. I do have these random days and I very much universe welcome more, but I am not one of those people. There's some people who are really blessed with that. I mean, we all know those people who are like, oh my God, they always seem like they're on cocaine or something. I would love to have that kind of energy. I don't. Some of you have health conditions that take some of your energy. We all have different energies at different times of the month. Energy is not reliable and your time is always capped. So if you're dependent on those two things for your business, I'm not saying you won't make money. You can definitely get to $300,000 a year with what I teach you by totally being dependent on being a solopreneur and trading your time for money and energy. I'd feel confident with $250,000 to $300,000. You absolutely could. And some of you are like, you know what? That's where I want to start. And that's totally fine. At a certain point, it's going to hit you where you go, oh, I see what Tiffany's talking about. I just created another job for myself. Yes, I'm making more money, but I don't have the freedom. And the damn reason why I left corporate, or why I'm not going into corporate, or why I would never want to work for somebody else, the whole reason why I'm doing this is so I have freedom of time, energy, and money. And I've just put myself in a cage where I've prevented that. And that's why I'm saying it's not only is it not scalable to not have reoccurring revenue, multiple income streams, it's not sustainable. Because you're going to get sick, someone's going to die in your life, you're going to have drama, you're going to have moments where you are like, you know what, I want to go take a month to go travel about. And I love all my European listeners. The show is super, super popular in Europe, and it's especially popular in Eastern Europe, which makes me laugh. Shout out my Eastern Europeans, because we just get each other. Because it's just like if you want someone to tell you the straight up truth with like literally no fluff, and who's not offended to receive it back, you need to talk to an Eastern European. I love having Eastern Europeans on my team because there's never an offense. I'm like, this is basic. I don't like it. We need to fix this and this. And no one's offended. It's hysterical. Where was I going with this? Where I was going with this is that you need to make sure that your time and energy is preserved if you want to scale to big money. So you want to scale to the high mid six figures, high six figures, seven figures. If you do not have multiple income streams and reoccurring revenue and something that I teach called offer stacking, it's impossible to get there without burning yourself out. And we're not about that life, because then that goes back to my rule number one. If it doesn't feel fun, if it doesn't feel freeing, if it doesn't feel expansive, I'm telling you, you might make money, a little bit of money, but it's not going to be sustainable, and it's going to bite you in the ass. All right. Number 4, your energetic state is the most important thing. That must be your number one priority of the day. Tony Robbins teaches this, and I'm sure there's other people who teach it too in different ways, and I'm sharing it with you from my perspective. I would roll my eyes at this in the past, especially when I was in my first 5 years of business, because I'm like, listen, just tell me what I need to focus on, what I need to fix in my business so I can make the money. And then once I make the money, then I'll be able to focus and have more time to nurture my energy, luxuriate, travel, do all these things that fuel my soul. But Mama needs to make this money first. So chop, chop. Okay, fair. I get it. And that's why in all of my programs, whether it's my group coaching programs, whether it's in my Posse membership, whether it's you're doing my 2-month private coaching program, or you're doing my 6-month ProjectME mastermind experience, the number one priority is always getting fresh cash flowing into your business. If we don't have fresh cash flowing into your business as soon as possible, and that's the number one priority, you do not have a business. You need that cash to pay back other investments. You need that cash to reinvest back in your business. And you need that cash also because it feels fucking good to make money. It gives you proof of concept. It really ignites you and puts you in that abundance zone. It makes you go, oh my God, while I was sleeping, 2 people bought this and I made $200 and I was asleep. Even something that small. Even right now while I'm doing this podcast, I'm seeing pings come up for my abundance card deck. That's $9.99. This isn't like life-changing money from that. But let me tell you, it feels really good when I'm busy doing something else and I have money coming in from other things. Or when I'm doing nothing. Over this past weekend alone, I made $25,000. Yes, I had to put in upfront effort for that, but that upfront effort continues to pay off for many months and even years to come if you have it set up properly. So the reason why that energetic state needs to be most important is if you are trying to build a business or trying to get clients and you're trying to do this from a depleted state, a frustrated state, an aggravated state, a sense of self-doubt and hopelessness, and you're coming from that, it's just people can smell it. Even if you feel like you're a great faker, and I know some of you are, if you think you're a great faker, I used to think I was a great faker. And I remember my one boss, oh my God, I'm dying. She was freaking great. I don't remember her last name, but it was Allison. And I was working for Merck Pharmaceuticals. I was terrible at selling. Like I was on the chopping block to get fired. That's where my emotional based sales techniques were born. I didn't come up with a name for that then, but I had to figure out a way to be able to sell that didn't feel manipulative and felt really good to me, because I was going to lose this job and lose my apartment and lose the company car and the insurance and all the stuff. Like I was terrible. And I remember, and she was no joke. She was like one of those people who was at the company for 30 freaking years. And you're like, holy shit, no joke, straight up, very blunt, no bullshit, but like a good person. She wasn't like trying to be abusive, but she didn't have time for bullshit. And maybe it's because she saw the potential in me, but you'd do these sales calls and you'd have ride-alongs. I mean, talk about terrifying. And you'd have to go around and go into your offices, which I called on physicians, and then mid-level providers, which are like nurse practitioners and PAs, and sometimes pharmacists. And your boss would be standing next to you while you're technically doing a mini sales presentation to these people. And you're going to be getting critiqued in the car on this, like majorly. And I remember I thought I was doing great. I pumped myself up that morning, highly caffeinated. I used to eat 2 Lego My Egos in the car, stuff them down my face while chugging coffee and listening to mid 2000s dance music. And I'd be like in my Ford Taurus, I'd be thumping and bumping with my gray plush interior. And I'd be like, I'm going to do it today. And wow, she said to me, here I thought I was going to get like high praise and high markings. And I was like, finally, I'm going to have ride along do well. And she goes, your act isn't working and you reek of desperation. I was like, oh my God, I was found out. And here I thought I was like putting on a good show. And it was hard to hear. I probably started to cry back then, but I needed to hear that so that she knew, yeah, I know you think you're a good actress. I know you think you're good at it and you pumped yourself up. But if you truly don't have confidence in what you're saying and feel like you're supposed to be in there and that you have value to offer and you're not in that grounded space, no one's really going to take you seriously or listen to you. And that's when the company did invest in us and doing like semi-privates with Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar and stuff like that. And I used to roll my eyes at first, but it made sense. It made sense why they invested so much money in us doing that. Because if you didn't have your energy right, then it was just going to come across in a very unattractive way to your clients. And how is that going to impact the bottom line of the business? It will majorly. So I wanted to share that story with you. That was good times. All right. Before we go to number 5, this is truly your last call to apply for my ProjectME mastermind experience. We have a few spots left. That doesn't mean I have to fill them. I don't care if all 15 spots are filled or not. I care about whoever is in there is supposed to be in there. And I know without a doubt that you're going to get the results that you desire by being in there. So I want to make that really clear. I don't have to take anybody for any reason. It's not a good look on me. Like, yeah, I like money, but I don't need your money. And what I don't want is any of you to ever take on clients just for money. It's not a good look. You don't end up with good testimonials. It ends up costing you a lot more in the long run. With that being said, because as you're listening to this, I am currently luxuriating in Kauai for my birthday, I am not taking any of application calls this week. So we start on September 14th of the mastermind. That's our bonus kickoff call. And that's when we start. So there are only a handful of slots left for application calls with me. And that's required. It's not as simple as filling out an application and then I say, okay, you're in. It's application, and then you get approved for a 15-minute application call. And then we determine, both of us, if this is the best use of your time, energy, or money right now. This will not be available again. If I decide to run it again, I have the right to change my mind on that if other things interest me and are prioritized. But if I run this again, it won't be until late 2023. So you want to get out of where you're at and get off that hamster wheel and actually learn how it's done, and you want to create this reoccurring revenue and multiple income streams and set your business up for the freedom level cash that you want to have, then learn from me inside this mastermind, inside this incredible container, and have that support and direct contact for 6 months, because that's what this is designed for. The details and to apply, you can swipe up. The link is in the show notes, or go to projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind. projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind. You can also DM me on Instagram if you just want to ask me some questions before you apply back and forth. Some of you are major question askers. One of those people myself, I totally get it. So just DM me on Instagram at projectmewithtiffany, but don't wait to do it, because this is rounding out very quickly here. And I have a special birthday gift for you. I'm doing a flash sale for my birthday inside my famous ProjectME Posse group coaching membership. And inside this membership, you get almost every single week, you're getting a live training from me or other special guest experts. But I am offering a special code for $50 off your first month. And I never do this. The only time a year I've done this is I've done it once for Black Friday. You get $50 off, plus you get an exclusive course that you can't get anywhere else from me, and you get it for free just for signing up. Even if you sign up for your first month and cancel, it's my content creation made easy course. You get a template, fill in the blank template for profitable caption writing. It is straightforward, to the point, so you can stop guessing on how to create content that gets clients. So you get that for free, plus $50 off. You need to use the code SECRET50 at checkout. So it doesn't matter if it's upper or lowercase, SECRET50 at checkout. And that link to the Posse is also in the bio. The Posse is only $100 a month. And it's month to month. You can cancel at any time. You're not going to want to. You can go right directly to the page to get all the details, hear all the incredible reviews, and why people stay in there for years since I started the damn thing. So wanted to give you that exciting birthday surprise, flash sale, Secret 50. You can share the code with someone else. I'm fine with that. Share the episode, share the code if they want to get into the Posse and see what it's all about. Okay, let's get to number 5, my favorite, and truly what has made me probably the most money of all these things is the zero fucks given zone. Let's all sing it. Zero fucks given. You have to have and get into a state, even if you can only lean into it by 10% at a time, you have to inch into it. That's okay. Into the zero fucks given zone. Meaning, I don't care what anyone, even family, a partner, my kids, coworkers, the neighbors, people I went to school with, random strangers online. Zero fucks given for your dreams, your life. None of these people are paying your bills. None of these people, well, maybe some of them are paying your bills, but none of them really are in your shoes in your life. We come in this world alone. We leave alone. What do you need to do to be fulfilled and satisfied? It's certainly not living under someone else's rules, someone else's dreams, what someone else thinks is good for you. You have to own what you want. If you want to be in network marketing or you want to experiment with it and try it out, I don't give a shit if someone's like, oh, that's multi-level or whatever. You fucking try it out. You want to start a podcast and people think that sounds silly and like nonsense, or you know what? 0 fucks given. 0 fucks given to the negative committee in your brain that's going to tell you, you can't write a book. Who do you think you are? You don't even know how to spell. You're terrible at grammar. You're not disciplined enough. You're not famous enough. What the hell what are you doing? That's what my negative committee says to me. That's an example of what mine says. Well, 0 fucks given to you, honey, because I'm going to do it anyway. So you need to do whatever it takes to inch into that energy and own that. If it's listening to the show, if it's writing 0 fucks given in your journal, in your planner. That's why I have stickers made that are 0 fucks given stickers. And let me do this. You go leave a 5-star written review on the podcast for my birthday on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or both. Put your Instagram handle and name in the review, and then DM me on Instagram, and we're going to send you something that's in the 0 fucks given zone that you will love. So just make sure you put your name, Instagram handle inside the review, and then DM me. Let me know that you left the review. And if you just want to leave a review and you're like, I don't want anything in return, Tiff, I'm doing it as a birthday gift to make you smile. That's great. You don't have to leave your last name. You don't even have to leave your first name. But those reviews mean a lot to me. I would be thrilled if we got to 600 in the US because they don't transfer typically to other countries. I would love it if we could get to 600 in the US for my birthday. That would be like such a great accomplishment. It feels so good to me. I would feel so appreciated by you guys. So if you want to do something for my birthday, write the review. If you've already written a review for me, then share this episode with someone who you think will love it. Share it in your Instagram stories, Facebook stories. Wish me a happy birthday. That would mean the world to me. And I hope you really take what I shared with you today and these 5 business and life lessons that have made me millions of dollars and at least explore them for yourself, because this really is the gold here that I've narrowed down. And you all have it in you. You all have the ability, the capability. You have it in you just as much as I had it in me. There really is no difference. The difference is that I did these 5 things and I kept showing up, and I would fail and flop and be terrified and embarrassed. I showed up. I took the risk. I did the thing. That's the only difference. And you can do all those things. Everyone has that capability. It's just getting out of your own way, and it's terrifying, but you've got it, because you not playing full out, you're just playing half-ass. Well, then you're going to get half-ass results, half-ass joy, half-ass fulfillment, half-ass satisfaction, half-ass cash. And we're all about full-ass here. We want full-ass life. We want that full-ass life, that full-ass cash, that full-ass freedom, that full-ass joy. You know what I'm saying? No flat asses here. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.